The following episode of Spoilers for Days was released on the GR8 M8S Podcast on March 11th, 2019.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
Welcome back to Spoilers for Days, which is a mini-series on GR8 M8S Podcast. If this is your first time listening to us, or the 1000th time you're listening to us, we're a bunch of young Australians who normally talk about our lives here in Australia and pop culture and the internet. But you've stumbled into our summer season and this mini-series, obviously, so which means we do things a little bit differently. This mini-series, which we call Spoilers for Days, is basically a mini-series where we are able to discuss some of our favorite shows at length and talk about them with lots and lots of spoilers. So we do what it says on the tin. I'm Josh, and with me on this episode I've got Nick.
Hello.
So we are going to discuss season 3 of The Good Place, which you can find on Netflix or on the NBC app if you're in the States. And we've decided to split season 3 of The Good Place into 3 parts. So this is going to cover chapters, let me just pull that back up, chapters 27 to 31, basically, this episode. So we're just going to talk about everything that happens in Australia, and the next episode we'll spend on chapters 32 to 35. And then the last part for season 3, we will be discussing chapters 36 to 39. So, all in all, it's going to be fun because we'll get to talk about this stuff at length, more than we did in the last 2 episodes about The Good Place that we're going to release. So yeah, enjoy. You know what I want, Nick, is that I want at least someone from The Good Place to listen to this spoiler cast.
Oh, trying to think of who would be. I know that Darcy listens to quite a few podcasts.
Mm-hmm. You think Mark would?
I mean,
just to satisfy curiosity.
That's like, whenever someone @s someone on Twitter, I'm always like, do they actually say that, or is it just kind of just gets lost in the stream of Twitter?
And I guess that depends on the person, though.
Yes, because the amount of mini interactions you've had with Simu and the rest of the cast of Kim's.
Yeah.
That's like a definite maybe, when with Good Place, I think it's like a reluctant maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. But, it would be cool to find out that someone from The Good Place is actually listening to this spoilercast, because, they know what they're writing, and they might be curious about the thoughts that people the people that watch this have about the show itself, and some predictions about what might happen. And we might touch on that, actually. Maybe not this episode. Keeping your ear out for that. Anyway, I have got a very long monologue to do, so, dear listener, please strap yourself in. After being given the go-ahead by the judge, Michael heads down to Earth to reset Eleanor, Chidi, Jason, and Tahani's timelines with one caveat: no intervening. Before he sets off, however, he meets Jeff the doorman, who is very much into frogs. After resetting their timelines, he returns to the judge's chambers to check on the 4 humans with Janet. With that, Eleanor flies halfway across the world to find Chidi to try and become a good person, a proposal which he gladly accepts. After his own near-death experience, Chidi seeks the help of Simone Garnett to explore a neurobiological route to his indecisiveness. However, an incident involving his best mate causes Chidi to relapse into a Kantian state of being. In the meantime, Sean is trying his forking best to hack into the judge's system with no luck. Back on Earth, Eleanor meets Simone, who quickly senses some romantic tension, but Chidi is Chidi. Rendered immobile in an MRI machine, however, Eleanor is able to confront him about his feelings for Simone and convinces him to take Simone out on a date before he ruins the signs. Michael returns to Earth, but not before Janet warns him about disobeying Mommy, like all good Freudian clients do. With another cup of antimatter, Michael goes to bring sweet boy Jason and Tahani to Australia. However, his continued visits have now allowed the Bad Place crew to hack the system, and Sean celebrates like a naughty bitch by cocooning his team. Eleanor desperately wants to know any juicy details about Chidi and Simone's date, but there isn't any. Both of them burst into her room while she's having a meeting, and after proposing an interdisciplinary study exploring the effect of near-death experiences on ethical decision-making, Chidi summons some courage to kiss Simone. After a few weeks, Tahani appears in Chidi's office and recalls her own experience after not dying in Cleveland. After apparently being saved by Camilla, she shuns the spotlight by KonMariing her wardrobe and seeks enlightenment in a Buddhist monastery. Not long after, she too slips back into old habits, profiteering from her own experiences of getting out of the spotlight. Michael rocks up to her book launch as slimy investor Gordon Nego to push her to join the study. Michael tries to get Jason to join the study as Zach Pizzazz, but as usual Jason misses the point, retelling his intentions to create a 60-person dance crew with no luck, even losing Donkey Dog and Little Peanut in the process. After a series of disqualifications, he returns to a life of crime. Michael finally convinces Jason to go and returns to the hallway bringing Jeff a froggy souvenir. The judge decides to check in after a long binge of NCIS, but Janet and Michael distract her with more Mark Harmon. Once she leaves, they check on the humans, only to find out something even more sinister is on its way. Trevor. Trevor's sickly sweet demeanor bribes the 4 humans with freebies, along with sending dank memes, which begins to irritate Eleanor. Jason wants to become Spider-Man with the help of the MRI machine, and Michael heads back to Earth and confronts Trevor about his intentions. Trevor takes the humans to the Cowboy Skyscraper buffet and passes on cheesy t-shirts he's made. Janet appears to have made the trip to Earth as well to keep an eye on the humans, but especially her bae, and quickly realizes her powers don't work in this realm. Trevor casually reminds Chidi about the professional ethics of academic research, which causes Chidi to spiral once again. Eleanor goes to find Chidi and reminds him of why she flew from Trash City, Arizona. The next day, Simone decides to check in with a very exhausted Chidi and assures him that she'll warn him if he gets too close. Tahani and Jason have formed a platonic relationship, and Eleanor doesn't show up to the study, leaving Simone to prompt Chidi to go find her. Chidi convinces Eleanor to stay, and there's yet another toilet confrontation between Michael, Janet, and Trevor. However, the judge summons them and gives Trevor a flick. She explains to Michael that his actions have caused ripple effects like Brexit and most notably the rise of Blake Bortles, and tells them that interventions are a no-go and they have to go back to the Bad Place. Before they're able to do so, Janet's request queue begins to appear between them, and they make a run for it with Jeff's help. Michael and Janet set up their own surveillance at the old journalism department of the university. With the project funded for a year, the Brainy Bunch continue their work. But after 3 months, Eleanor is running out of dollary dues fast. Michael and Janet hastily decide to become snowplows, giving her a chance to stay on. Jason complains that he can't watch the Jags games because of Clocklands, and Tahani's actually getting mad horny for him. Michael and Janet therefore find her a long boy in the form of Larry Hamsworth. However, Larry proposes to Tahani, and they both plan to go back to the UK. He meets a study group at their engagement party, but his inferiority complex flares up again, and Michael and Janet try to convince him to stay, but he mistakes them for trashy entertainment reporters. Simone and Chidi decide to put the study on hiatus and consider recruiting new subjects because of funding and analysis. Eleanor makes a passionate speech to try and keep the Brainy Bunch from ending, but the rest of the group don't see it like that, which causes her to punch her face out of a cake and hide behind a bush. Simone spots her outside and explains to her that her fear of loss is because she's never formed a meaningful relationship up until now. Eleanor returns to the rest of the group to apologize for her outburst, and they settle on catching up yearly. Michael tries to commit to a law, but Janet just wants to let the humans continue on without them. Michael disagrees because he too is experiencing a loss of his own, and decides that the best thing to do is to reset the timeline on Earth, but before they make it through the door, the humans spot them. After confronting Michael and Janet, the humans learn that they're actually paranormal investigators, although that's not really true. Michael confesses everything about his plan until now, and explains the concept of Jeremy Burmy, which makes the humans' brains melt. Eleanor drowns herself in margaritas, Tahani spreads the wealth with Jason, Chidi quotes Friedrich Nietzsche, and Michael and Janet write up a manifesto about their experiment. Still at the bar, Eleanor finds a wallet, but instead of taking the money and running, tries to find its owner. Meanwhile, a shirtless Chidi buys up most of a supermarket, and Tahani decides to give Jason all her money. She does face some difficulties doing so, however, and decides to marry him. After going across Sydney, Eleanor finds the wallet's owner, who explains that all he really wanted back was a drawing made by his daughter, and compliments her on being a good person. Back at the university, a nihilistic Chidi explains to his worried students about the 3 main approaches to living a good life, but it doesn't matter anymore. Eleanor steps in and pulls him out of the maelstrom, and the humans go to Michael and Janet and propose a new team, the Soul Squad, but not before long boy Larry reminds her, Tahani, that she's supposed to leave the country with him. So, that is the TLDR version of what happens in those 5 episodes. It's a very long monologue. My apologies, but, what can you do?
In classic Good Place fashion, a lot of stuff happens in a small amount of time.
It is insane. My monologue for this part was actually longer.
Oh
Lord, but I had to save something for a discussion, so yeah. So Australia. I believe we talked about this before, right, Nick? In a regular episode?
Yeah, we are quite big Good Place fans, thus why this is going to end up in at least 5 episodes of us just talking about one TV show that has 3 seasons.
Yep.
Oh
boy.
Also, we got a little bit way more into it when they're like, we're in Australia now. For obvious reasons.
Yes. But, as with the last time we discussed this, I don't know, has your opinion on their Australian accents changed?
Kind of, not really.
Okay.
It's a lot harder now to... I think that they may have had a couple of Australian extras doing bit parts.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, in full disclosure to the audience, I have way too many notes. And I'll start with the note of, what the fuck is the go with Michael's accent? And then Janet calling him out. Well, no, I've got Janet/Darcy calling that accent out. Because it's hard to tell who is actually calling that accent out.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I swear how it would have gone is they would have been like, yo, Ted, do an accent. And being like, sure. And in a classic can't say Eleanor fashion, he can't do an Australian accent either. That turns into a weird South African accent at the start. That then slowly changes
becomes more
to
English.
Yeah, but then it just kind of becomes nothing. Like it almost becomes like a different American accent.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah. I know that they did hire a lot of Australian talent, especially in the Jeremy Barry episode with the students. And we'll get to them when we get to them. But I had a look through the IMDb page for the Jeremy Barry episode, and they did hire a lot of Australian extras that were credited. So, I think they just decided, oh yes, Chidi is in Australia. We'll just make some shitty Australian accents up.
Well, at the same time, they do, for the amount of stuff I can trash on them being a very un-Australian Australia, at the start, they do have Bundaberg soft drinks, which I think, like, that's a very Australian thing. I don't think it's a very international thing, but at the muffin cart, I crumb from a land down under.
God.
There are Bundaberg soft drinks, which I was like, that's some cool set dressing.
Yeah. They paid attention at least to some bits.
Yeah, they didn't pay attention to the fact that we don't have peeps. But...
Well, yeah, But they well, on the podcast, The Good Place, the podcast, which y'all should listen to because it's great stuff. I believe they try and justify it that it could be an import. There is an import section somewhere, but as many Australians will point out, no, not shelves and shelves of Peeps. Yeah. But anyway, we should probably try and do this as chronologically as possible.
Yes.
We've because we're breaking this into 3 parts, it sort of makes more sense to do this chronologically than the previous 2 episodes.
Will be a lot more deep divey.
Yes. Yeah, hang on, let me find this. Yep.
I'll start with a rant. Well, not a rant, me taking a single throwaway line and digging a great hole out of it. So, as you mentioned in the intro, the judge is quite fond of NCIS.
Yes.
Now, NCIS exists on the same American channel as CSI, and on CSI there was Ted Danson. So does Ted Danson exist in this universe? And is he also starring in a show about the Good Place? And do the humans get told often that they look like the people from this show? And are the actors playing the humans with the same names? Or in this universe, are the characters different names? And do they later think, once they find everything out, that it's weird that if the characters have the same names, that this is almost biographical?
Oh God. I don't know if... Here's the thing, right? They kind of addressed this on the podcast, is that in this world, Ted Danson can't possibly exist because they would have, like, someone within the group would have figured it out, right? Unless they don't watch CBS at all.
But Ted Danson is still a lot more famous than... Ted Danson has been famous for the last 30, 40 years.
That's true. And the demons do take the form of people, right?
And
I'm not sure.
Michael does explain early in first season that, he just has chosen this form.
Yeah.
So, no, I just taking one tiny little line and digging a massive hole.
Oh dear. Looking through the plot for the premiere episodes, it's just so interesting that Simone is so very gung-ho about really wanting to do this study.
I mean, not even that. She's straight into the flirt in her first appearance.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, she's immediately into flirt mode. Like, you could retitle this show The Flirt Place and it would still make perfect sense.
Oh, yes. You could. Maybe she's never met a very fit moral philosophy professor before?
I mean, go girl, get what you want.
Yeah.
But, you come on so hard.
Oh, dear Lord. And I guess it kind of benefits because Eleanor also senses that, very fast.
Oh yeah.
The moment that she meets Simone, she's like, "Yeah, you're really into Chidi, huh?" And you know, Eleanor goes out of her way to become like a wing woman, in a sense.
Which worries Michael.
Yeah, which does come up. It's like they're meant to be together. Eleanor and Chidi are meant to be together, but
Well,
yeah, well, you know,
we'll get into this at a later episode, but
yes.
But Janet also points out there were many reboots where they weren't soulmates, and Chidi still helped Eleanor, so no big worry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, do you have a favorite fake Michael character?
Oh,
because there's a few. So we have Nathaniel Cookswell. We also have Gordon Indigo. We have Charles Brainman. We have Zach Pizzazz. And Rick Justice. Which one's your favorite?
So we already know by the end of season 2 that he goes to Earth more than once.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. I mean, Gordon Indigo is quite an interesting character.
Yes.
Especially the Nirvana balls.
Golf balls spray painted silver?
Yes.
Is that the one?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my lord. He's real slimy. Ugh.
I mean, Zach Pizzazz is also just a name. Just a name within itself.
It's a name, all right. It's a name that I can conceivably believe is a stage name somewhere in the world right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear. But yeah. I do like though that that Michael notices the fact that the doorman is very much into frogs. And at the end of this episode, like in the break between episodes 1 and 2, when he comes back, he brings back that souvenir. Sort of unwittingly extends like a sort of friendship token with.
Well,
with
I
the
mean
doorman.
that it's a bribe.
Yeah, that's true, because he does go down more and more times.
It's a bribe.
Yeah. Oh my.
Also, this is going. Seeing we're talking about Gordon Indigo, this is
Yes.
going to get a little bit graphic. But how do the dick crystals work? He explains erectile dysfunction crystals. How do they work? Do they go like on, in? Do you just kind of like hold them? Do you eat them? Are they a pill?
I'd rather not think about it, but there are 2 potential ways you may. I would assume that you would use them is either insert them into the urethra,
Or are they suppository?
alternatively, any hole, you mean? Alternatively, you hang them
Above
by
the love
affixing
nest?
them to your scrotum,
Oh, okay. Like
a cock ring, kind of.
Or what about you just have the crystals, but just like turned into a cock ring?
Ooh. That's not a very flexible cock ring.
I mean, there's metal cock rings.
That's true. There are mental cock rings. That is very, very true. Yeah, probably. I mean, thank goodness we never actually get to see one.
Nah.
Just leave it to the imagination of the audience to figure it out. This skyscraper buffet is a real something. When Trevor comes in, and can I just say, like, overtly sweet Trevor is just as bad, if not worse, than douchebag Trevor trying to hit on Eleanor, because it's so it comes off as not authentic, like, and I think Eleanor knows that. Like, somewhere in the back of her mind, she must know that Trevor has something else about him.
Yeah. It's interesting. Also, is Benea Trevor saying they both have a like for dank memes?
Oh, okay.
Have we got a demon among us?
I think we have several demons among us. I would say I'm Sean. I put my hand. Oh well, actually, Sean or Glenn, Nick, which one?
I mean, you don't need to shut up. So,
oh, that's true. Maybe Benea is a mix of Trevor and Glenn.
Yeah,
because you want him to shut up, but also the dank memes. Yeah, I'm not sure. Have you figured out which demon you would be?
Bamba
John?
I mean, I am quite fond of Bamba John, just for the name.
Who else is there? Do you remember Chuck or Gunner? The one who likes biting people? There's him.
As a child, I was quite fond of biting.
I
was a problematic child.
Who else is there? The thing with Brandon is he bad Janet?
He does have some bad Janet qualities.
Yes. Bad Janet who is mad horny for Chris Baker Demon.
So, bad Janet is... So Chris Baker is the Jason to bad Janet?
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
It makes a lot of sense. That the incredibly buff man would still cause bad Janet to get real horny for.
I mean, both are equally stupid, but it's like hot versus cute.
A hot buff hot and then cute hot. Yeah, that works. Yeah. I think we'll leave this as a question to the listeners. If the listeners can let us know which demon or demons each one of us are.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll leave that as a challenge so that we can get back to trying to figure out why this buffet has a Manifest Destiny package where for $30 you can get rid of anyone that's sitting at the table that you want to be at.
Well, yeah. I mean... I don't even think I would ever use that. I'd be like, just give me like a good table. Unless like there's only shit tables left.
Such as?
Like Kansas, Oklahoma, like flyover states.
Yes.
But then again, they're at Montana, which is a flyover state.
Yeah.
You know, I would happily have Montana. Montana's a good state. So is Wyoming.
I can't remember who is on that table.
I don't think they ever showed.
But I definitely remember that, like, Photoshopped Mount Rushmore with Judge Judy and who else is there on there?
This was one of the only things I didn't take note of.
Oh, God damn it. I think the Hoff, and
Paris Hilton.
Yep. Then there's one more.
I think
is it a wrestler?
Character. Oh, Hulk Hogan.
It was Hulk Hogan. Okay. Oh, dear. That is also such a white Mount Rushmore as well.
I mean, it makes sense for Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You also have your 4th of July, half an apple pie blended with Southern Comfort, Coke, and served in a Chevy hubcap. I mean, remove the Coke and that could be okay. Maybe not served in a hubcap.
I was like,
half an apple pie and Southern Comfort. That's not that bad.
I mean, yeah, it's a boozy apple pie now, which I wouldn't mind. But you know, just don't blend it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, if you filter it, maybe it'll work.
No, I remember when Mum used to work in disability, she had a client who couldn't eat solid foods.
Oh, no.
And they would do, like, food tests with the other clients, and they would have to give this client the same foods. That'd be like... But, like, it's a cliche, but Mum distinctively remembers blending a Big Mac meal.
Oh, no.
And she says that, like, that's one of the things that just turned her off McDonald's for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
But, so yeah, maybe not blending foods that should not be blended.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
I wanted to get in, seeing we are the hashtag STEM boys.
Yes.
There were quite a few STEM questions I got from this.
Okay.
First, gold is not magnetic.
No, it's not.
So, Tahani, just...
Unless... Wait, she said it's very pure, yes?
Yes.
So one would assume it is 24 karat gold?
Probably.
Okay. But,
gold is not magnetic.
No, it's not.
It could have some issues if you were trying to scan that area, but they're not scanning your tits. It's a brain scan. It's a brain study.
Yes. If you had metal crowns inserted, or you know, a plate that's holding two bits of your skull together, then I would be very, very concerned. If you had your brain inside of
not gold.
No, not gold, not gold bras.
Also, who are the controls in this study? Because there is, like, I know they talk about repeating the study later on.
Yes,
but you still have to have some type of control, or you can't do a blind study, but you still have to have something to compare results.
You have to have so you have to have a normal.
Yeah, you would have to have most probably people who haven't had near-death experiences, and the other problem is which this also fucks up the study, kind of, because each participant gets a different set of images about how they
Yes.
died. So I presume Tahani's is a statue,
Yeah.
and rock and roll or whatever. And Jason has a safe. What's Jason's?
Has the safe, the snorkel.
Snorkels and whippets. Which also,
which are...
no one is that stupid to think whippets are going to fucking help you.
Unless you're Jason.
But sometimes I question Jason's stupidity.
We've gonna have the same opinion, is that Jason is like, I think that maybe there is some acute brain injury somewhere.
This is for the second part, but Jason seems like he's a genius when it comes to pictures of boobs, so he's not that stupid.
No, he's not. I think,
but
when it comes to probably
like, how has this man stayed alive for so long?
By circumstance?
By luck?
Yeah, by sheer luck.
How is he not being eaten by a gator?
That is, I guess, the more pressing question. Maybe the friends that he used to have at the Leonard Skinner High School sacrificed themselves to the almighty gator god that lives in the swamp below. Oh dear. Oh, Jacksonville.
Another thing that annoyed me was, so Chidi posts posters at the university looking for participants.
Yes.
He has no Australian participants.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just also, how did people hear about, unless he's done like a worldwide call out, which you usually don't do for studies.
Yeah, the only caveat there is obviously if you're doing some sort of international collaborative effort, which in this case they clearly aren't. So, although there could be just a very robust screening test, which is not entirely explained at all.
No. And I get the answer to all these questions is it's a TV show.
Yes. But still, I think
little things pester me.
Especially when it comes to research.
Not just research, but I mean, my whole peeve about gold not being magnetic.
Yes.
Like,
the woman is not. She's not the brightest either.
True.
So, there's that. God. Let's go back to the fact that I don't know what happened between... Oh, well, actually, I kind of do know what happened in between seasons, but for some reason, Wardrobe decided that Manny was going to wear a lot more tight-fitting clothes now. It's very obvious, especially when he's sitting on the platform of the MRI machine. Just like, that's a little too tight, no?
I did not notice.
Of course you didn't notice. Manny. Oh, God. And it's just like, Jason, why did you bring a fucking spider into the MRI room to become Spider-Man? I guess no one also told him.
Because he's Jason.
Yes, I know. And I'm surprised Jason actually didn't die. What spider wouldn't kill you, but would leave bites?
A lot. There are a lot of spiders, especially in Australia.
Yes.
A lot of people say spiders are just killing machines, but there are a lot of spiders which will just give you the power to make your hand swell up.
Oh dear. It's just like, yeah. Jason. Poor Jason. I love how Trevor attempts to try and get Tahani and Jason together.
With the monk
But
love.
then with the,
Seeing they've
Lord.
both been monks now.
Yes.
Hashtag
Yes.
monk love.
God. But then you hear the next day, it's like, Jason was this is, again, why I love Jason so much. And it's very, very sad, but also very flawed. But that Jason somehow, like, doesn't actually get to the stage where he wants to have sex with her. Just sends her back to her hotel, and then, being Jason, decides that the best place to go and sleep is not in a motel room, but in a dumpster.
It's Jason.
Lord. It is Jason. It is the most Jason of things to do. Oh my God.
I do also enjoy the explanation of all the fucked things that happened in the world as Michael.
Brexit. Blake Bortles. I have no idea who owns the Weather Channel. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I can only presume
that's the only rereference that I.
They're supposed to be a climate denier. Is there anything I'm thinking? I do recall there being a story about something to do with the Weather Channel and climate deniers.
I see. Let me have a look. Interesting. Maybe? I assume it's just because he's a comedian? This person that now owns the Weather Channel is a comedian?
Okay.
And bought it as a commercial acquisition?
I mean, I can't imagine the Weather Channel makes that much money.
No, neither can I. I actually, Interesting. Anyway. I also love Maya Rudolph's exaggerative, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Just her acting style
emphasis,
in general?
Her acting style, her very physical acting style, but also where she emphasizes things. It's the whole thing of, like, Looney Tunes, and in this episode, in the premiere episode, it's where she goes, like, something about, like, how many times she told Michael that he was allowed to go back down to Earth for it. It's like, one. Oh dear. God bless. Goodness me. Yeah. We've spent quite a lot of time actually on the premiere episode. It is an hour after all. But yeah.
I mean, that's the first 3 episodes.
For 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Episode 4, which is basically Snowplow, and
just wrapping stuff up. Yeah.
Yeah, it tries to advance a lot of stuff.
It's the plot moving episode.
It is the plot moving episode. We have to catch up. We have to push everyone forward.
Well, interesting. So before the study, there's a year happens.
Mm-hmm.
Then by the end of this episode, the study's been going for a year, which means we are technically up to date with the real world date.
Yes.
Yes, which is some good TV making.
It's very good planning.
Yes.
But yeah.
Also, how have 2 Americans and a British person been in
Yes.
Australia for a year without border control getting on their ass?
Good question, actually. No, actually, Tahani should be okay. I believe
How?
immigration. I believe that there is a reciprocal agreement that.
Yeah, but not a year.
Although she.
And there would be.
maybe
I suppose seeing she's an heiress, there wouldn't be issues.
Tahani would probably come in on some sort of like entertainment visa. But Jason and Eleanor,
I think you can get like a year on a working visa, and seeing she's so rich, you wouldn't need to work to provide.
Yep, and she can
she
just
could
show
probably
the bank account.
get a pass by.
Yeah, but it's Jason and Eleanor that are probably a little bit, a lot in trouble with border force.
Yeah.
But I guess,
somehow they're being counted as students and have student visas.
How did the university then pull that off? There's a lot of questions, I guess.
Yeah.
And again, we are applying real world logic to a TV show. As you do. Did anything in those like little Foursquare montages stand out for you?
Not really. Just
not really.
No,
the birthday cake.
They go past yeah.
Yeah, that's
after Eleanor just being like, nope, not doing this.
Can't. I don't like participating.
Yep. And then she's front and center.
And then yep. And they discuss this on the podcast as well. That a lot of the stuff that they shot was meant to be a lot longer, but obviously for timing reasons, they had to shove it all into these Foursquare montages. Jason in denim shorts is just God bless. But also the fact that he's really attempting to study philosophy outside wearing that. Yeah. Also, the guy that plays Larry Hemsworth is the brother of Josh Lawson.
Yes.
And in my opinion, Ben Lawson is far more attractive than Josh Lawson, and I have no fucking idea
also, how the hell did I only just get this connection that Kristen and Josh were in what the fuck was that TV show called?
Which one?
The one with Don Cheadle.
Oh, I know what that one is. Oh dear.
Something to do with lies.
House of Lies?
House of Lies. Yeah. They were in that show together. Where Josh Lawson has an American accent and a very good American accent.
Interesting. Was this the show that she was on before Good Place?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I see.
That connection may have helped to get the
probably to get Ben.
Yeah, they were probably just like, we need an Australian actor who is like good looking but not famous.
Yeah. Not famous in America. And well, to be honest, not famous here either.
No.
I did have to go through it, like, where are you from? But yeah. Oh dear. The running joke that he is the
just so ugly and so plain and
boy, do you know what you look like.
And then the three just come in and tear him a new one.
Yes. Jason with the what is that joke? We repeated this on the episode in the canon season. Something about, did Miley Cyrus dedicate Wrecking Ball?
Yeah, Wrecking Ball to
Chris's brotherly.
Yeah.
Oh, Jason, read the room, mate. Read the room.
I mean, Eleanor meets Tahani with your Camilla's sister.
Oh yes,
So...
yes, that's true. That's very true. But yeah,
And
in theory, yeah.
And the joke of when when Tahani and Larry are at the bar and they're like, "Won't mention your brothers if you don't mention my sister."
The mutual bond that they share is very interesting.
More good writing from the writers' room.
Yes, I do have to agree with that. Dear me. I do like that Simone was able to use the information that she's gotten from Eleanor over like the past 2 years to convince her to apologize.
I mean,
to the rest of them.
There is also some sick burns in there.
Oh yeah, otherwise you're just a bit of a dick.
Or you need a child psychologist.
Yes, that too. Oh boy, if only you could. I swear to God, you could have like whole seasons of behavioral analysis of these characters. It would be so fun.
Yeah, I mean, so the Good Place is about moral philosophy.
Yeah.
More. Well, not about, but there is a subtext in there. You could do the exact same show with looking at psychology and different studies and...
Oh, yes. Definitely. Yeah. I do like how Michael is experiencing loss as well, and how it's manifesting as a sense of urgency to try and reset the timeline on Earth by
killing them
burning...
and stealing them before the bad place can get them.
Yes. Yeah. Also trying to commit arson. That's a thing.
I mean, be with Jason for long enough and arson ain't anything.
Molotovs. That's true. But yeah. Jeremy Bearimy.
This broke me.
Jeremy
The
Bearimy.
dot over the I. That broke me. I'm done.
Did it break you? Did it actually break you?
Personally, no.
You're not just quoting...
I'm just quoting because I spent a lot of time just pausing and being like, I'm going to write down quotes because there's some really good quotes.
Yeah, there are honestly. There are choice quotes in there. But yeah. It is this show's equivalent of Doctor Who's wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't work as well.
No, it doesn't.
Because, as Eleanor points out, how can stuff happen before the stuff that happens before it?
Yes. It's a more convoluted concept of
You just have linear looping time, which is different than non-linear time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Ah, dear. Nihilistic Chidi, I believe that was you that put it on group chat, is a mood.
Oh yeah, Nihilist
it's a big mood.
Chidi is all real big mood.
Oof, real big mood. Oh dear. The fact that scene with Chidi and the guy that's trying to sell him drugs, and the fact that he's sprouting Nietzsche.
Yes, I have the quote here, if you want the quote.
Yes, please.
God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. Who will wipe this blood off of us? What festivals of atonement? What? I can't even read my own writing. Because I scribble.
Oh dear.
Nature. What something games shall we have to invent? Is the quote. Yes. But, it's... I just love God is dead. God remains dead and we've killed him.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. I have the full quote here. God is dead. God remains dead and we have killed him. There has never been a greater dead, and whosoever shall be born after us, for the sake of this deed, he shall be of a higher history than all his history hitherto. So that, I believe, is an abridged version of... Yeah. But it's... dear me. Oh, Chidi. You've spiraled into an existential crisis. Classic existentialism.
But then we get the sprinklers and buff Chidi.
And real buff Chidi. Which is...
a surprise?
I think something... Yes, in a way. Because you really wouldn't know that it's under there. The fact that he wears vests on this show and long sleeve shirts doesn't... It hides the fact that William Jackson Harper is extremely fit. Yeah. It did catch me off guard. And him walking through the supermarket without a shirt on, and then finding a shirt that says who, what, when, where, wine, that is obviously a women's cut, and then putting that on instead. Gosh.
Okay, so you said before, which demon are we all? Mm-hmm. I have another question for us all. Criminal or spider?
Okay. Eh?
This episode poses that all Australians are either criminals or spiders. Are we criminals or are we spiders?
Okay. So not a rhetorical question like are we human or are we dancer?
No, are we criminals or are we spiders?
Are we talking generally, or are we just talking about each one of us being either a criminal or a spider?
Are each of us criminals or spiders?
Oh, I'd be a spider for sure. Yeah. Bin maybe criminal.
I don't.
You maybe
me. Yeah, maybe. I have also been known to be a bit of a lurker. Just hanging in the corner, watching what's going on.
Yes.
Ready to suck the life force out of anyone who comes too close.
Yeah. So maybe we're all spiders.
Maybe all Australians in general are spiders. But then the question is, was there a period where we had criminal spiders?
Oh, criminal spiders.
And what sick crimes did those criminal spiders do?
That is a question that I believe the good listeners can also provide answers for.
Yeah, what crimes do spiders do?
Yes, what crimes do spiders commit in Australia? God. But yeah. Tahani and Jason's marriage, that's a thing. And Janet's reaction to the news that they got married was, you could see her
just break,
heart break.
I mean, especially in all the other episodes where you just have horny Janet, and then you have horny Tahani, and then it ends up in marriage.
Yeah. Although the reason why they got married is so that Tahani could give Jason all of her wealth. there's no sexual relationship at all, apparently. Purely platonic, but still, Janet is heartbroken, devastated. And I think it shows that she is actually becoming more human after all the reboots, and now that she's been on Earth for the good part of a year and a half, probably.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Any other good bits from this episode? Well, these series of episodes.
I'm gonna eat this chili and or die trying.
Oh, the other quote from Chidi is stick your paws in my chili.
Dip your paws into my chili.
Dip your paws into my chili.
Scoop your little mittens in the stew.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Or before that, my favorite line of, "You put the peeps in the chili and it makes it taste bad."
Oh dear.
And which is followed by a student asking if they can actually learn something, and Chidi saying, "All right, nerd, has Chidi turned into Eleanor?" And the counter argument, has Eleanor turned into Chidi? Because in this episode, Eleanor has some very ethical decisions to make.
It shows that she's learned. She's learned something, at least.
That Florida trash bag is not her be-all and end-all.
Yeah. But I guess because Chidi, upon finding out that everything can be nothing at the same time, just can't cope with that, and that's why it manifests as this spiral into nihilism. Yeah, you could say that they've swapped roles in a way. I guess made even more prominent given the fact that Chidi is also wearing a very, very tight shirt that is almost Arizona trash baggy. Yeah. That might come in handy, I guess, for future episodes when we discuss. Yeah.
Another question of which three of these morals do you think you fall under the most?
Ooh,
or you can add nihilism as a fourth.
Yes, so the three that, before nihilism, the three that Chidi describes are virtue ethics,
which
consequentialism, and deontology. Is that right?
Yes. So, I'll make sure I get them right.
Yep.
Deontology is the morality of a decision based on the context, not the consequence. I.e., you steal because you're hungry rather than stealing is ethically bad. Consequentialism is that you always do what will result in a good outcome, which then also becomes questionable if we go back to the previous example. If you don't steal and you die of starvation, that's bad. But at the same time, stealing is bad as well. And this is where ethics makes no sense. Well, no, it's not that it doesn't make sense. It's that you just find larger and larger questions to ask.
Yeah.
And virtue ethics is that there is a set of good attributes that everyone should follow, such as curiosity, courage, etc. And then nihilism is there is nothing.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.
We
are all going to die.
As Chidi says, all three of those theories are not...
Hot, stinky cat
Yes,
dookie,
a hot, stinky
if I
cat
recall
dookie.
correctly.
The true meaning of life, the actual ethical system you should all follow is nihilism. The world is empty. There is no point to anything, and you're just going to die. So do whatever. And now I'm going to eat my marshmallow candy chili in silence, and you can all jump up your own butts.
What? Which one of those I ascribe to? At this current state, I would say I'm probably a mix between virtue ethics and deontology, but maybe leaning more into virtue ethics. I think the fact that, you know, there is some context, personal context, that it can be taken into account with virtue ethics, maybe?
Yeah.
I would say that is probably the closest example that is given in this episode.
I know I fall into nihilism and not into not into
Nietzsche level nihilism.
No, not into like anarchy levels of nihilism.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think of the other three. What do I believe more in? That a set of values, doing the good thing for the right reasons, or always doing the right thing. I think probably more deontology.
Oh yeah.
There.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if it results in if it's the right choice in the moment, then it's probably the right choice moving forward.
Yeah, and that sounds like, and deontology, well, with a little bit of virtue ethics, is sort of the moral particularism theory that Eleanor describes in, I believe, season 1, if I recall.
Yes.
Yeah, something about because it definitely happens before Holy Mother.
Yes, and consequentialism isn't until later.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting. I'm always fascinated by approaches in philosophy, but I'm not one to undertake it as a field of study.
To me, it's just so complicated. Just dumb it down, and then I can learn from there.
It would be interesting to see a philosophy communicator break these concepts down like a science communicator would, and explain it to, you know, the public. And
it'd be great if CBS were to do or whatever, like if there was to be like a companion web series where you get like 5-10 minute YouTube.
Oh, but there is though.
There is?
They NBC is doing they have like 5-10 minute videos that one of the philosophy advisors that they have, Dr. Todd May, is doing. So he does explain like concepts from previous seasons. I don't know if they've ever touched on the ones that they discussed in season 3, but I know definitely that he's done like a few like explainer videos that are on YouTube. So yeah, it came up on my feed a few months ago. So I had a look at it. Yeah, it's actually pretty decent. He does explain it in a way that is, you know, digestible for people that aren't, you know, balls deep into philosophy. But yeah. Anything else that stands out for you?
Nothing that stands out. All that I have left now is just like funny little tidbits that I collected.
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. Ah, dear. I guess the last thing is that Tahani just very casually forgot that she was actually in a committed relationship.
Oh yeah.
You know, I guess Jeremy Bermy does that to a person.
Yeah, she was stuck in the dot above the I for a bit too long.
Yeah. Oh, poor Larry. Poor Larry Hemsworth. Oh, dear. I guess with that, we might wrap this episode up with a little bit of What's Good. So, What's Good is a segment that we're directly ripping off of the Good Place to Podcast, where they get the guests to sort of describe one good thing that probably happened this week, or something that they found uplifting, or a group that they wanted to shout out. So Nick, do you have anything while I try and think of my answer for What's Good?
What's good is actually cooking for yourself. Food is good, but there is always an extra bit of... Food's always a bit tastier when you've cooked it yourself.
It's that sense of accomplishment.
Yes, you've got that sense of accomplishment, especially if you fuck up a little bit and then you're able to recover it.
Yeah.
So last week I made these macaroni muffin things that were really good, but you had to make roux, and I fucked it up the first time. I just overcooked and added too much flour and pretty much made a dough instead. And I was like, nah, just throw it out, start again. It's just flour and butter. And I did it again, and it was successful, and they were tasty, and I was happy.
Hey, well done. What's good? I'd posit that What's Good is Queer Eye Season 3 that is coming out very, very, very soon. And there is no doubt that Brandon and I will be doing some form of gushing about this upcoming season in the near future. So, yeah. I mean, we have 2 more episodes to explain what else is good. So we're going to leave those for another time. Anyway, Nick, where can people find you if people want to find you?
People can find me at Nick Landcroon.
Sweet. And you can find me basically everywhere as Abang Pinoy, ABANGPINOY. Come hit us up on our own socials. If you want to find out where the other great mates can be found, well, you can just listen to our old episodes. Find our podcast socials on Instagram and Twitter as GR8 M8S Podcast. That's one word. And go subscribe to us. Go share this podcast to your friends. We really love it if you can also leave us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in part 2 of season 3, the season 3 spoiler cast for The Good Place. And go do something good.
Bye.
Bye.